Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to deep dive into something I've always been kind of curious about.
Oh, yeah?
Mian Xiang,
Okay.
the Chinese art of face reading. We'll be exploring excerpts from Mian Xiang, Discover Face Reading by Joey Yap.
Okay.
And I gotta admit, the idea that our faces could reveal so much about us is both intriguing and
Right.
a little bit intimidating.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
Mhm.
We're constantly making judgments about people based on their appearance, but what if there's an actual system to it?
Hmm.
A way to decipher those subtle clues we're picking up on.
What I find so fascinating is that Mian Xiang, it goes beyond those initial impressions. It's not
Yeah.
about making those snap judgments, but rather delving into a deeper understanding of someone's personality,
Okay.
their health potential,
Uh-huh.
even their life path,
Wow.
all based on their facial features.
Okay.
And this isn't like some,
Yeah.
new age fad or anything like that.
Right.
It's been practiced for centuries, going all the way back to the Yellow Emperor,
Oh, wow.
who, as you may know, is
Yeah.
also credited with laying the foundation for traditional Chinese medicine.
Wow.
To think that emperors used face reading for like strategic advice,
Yeah.
that's
That's pretty mind-blowing. It
Yeah.
really makes you wonder what they were able to see that we miss.
Yeah.
So, if it's not about judging a book by its cover,
right.
how would you describe Mian Xiang?
Hmm.
What's the core principle here?
I think at its heart, Mian Xiang is about understanding the energy
Hmm.
or qi that flows through us
Uh-huh.
and how that manifests in our physical form,
Okay.
particularly our faces.
Gotcha.
One of the key frameworks that's used in Mian Xiang is the 5 elements:
Okay.
wood, fire, earth, metal, and water.
Mm-hmm.
Each of those being associated with specific personality traits and physical characteristics.
Gotcha.
So, for example, someone with a wood-shaped face,
Okay.
which is typically long and slender,
Mhm.
is often patient, persevering,
Mm-hmm.
and might be drawn to careers in like medicine or research,
Mm-hmm.
where meticulous attention to detail is essential.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so if wood represents those qualities,
Yeah.
what about someone with, say, a really strong, prominent jawline?
Oh, okay.
What element would that fall under?
That sounds like a classic earth-shaped face.
Okay.
So think about the qualities of earth:
Uh-huh.
stability, groundedness,
Yeah.
practicality. People
Yeah.
with earth-shaped faces are often known for their reliability,
Okay.
their down-to-earth nature, and their ability to kind of create structure and stability
Interesting.
in their lives and the lives of others.
So it's not just about one feature in isolation,
Right.
but how all these elements interact
Yes,
to create a whole picture.
precisely. It's like a symphony. Each instrument plays a part,
Uh-huh.
but it's the combination of all those sounds
Yeah.
that creates the full, rich experience.
Right.
And in Mian Xiang, we're looking at the interplay of all the features: the shape of the face,
Yeah.
the size and placement of the eyes, the nose, mouth, ears,
Wow.
even the texture and color of the skin.
Okay.
It's about understanding the language of the face
Gotcha.
and what it reveals about the person within.
So are we talking about specific measurements or
Um,
proportions? Like, is there a golden ratio for, like, a perfect face, according to Mian Xiang?
It's not so much about perfection as it is about balance and harmony.
Okay.
In Mian Xiang, we look for features that are proportionate to each other
Uh-huh.
and to the overall face shape.
Okay.
For example, like a large nose on a small face
Yeah.
might suggest an imbalance of energy,
Okay.
whereas a nose that's in proportion to the rest of the features
Yeah.
would indicate a more harmonious flow.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's about the overall composition, not just individual parts.
Right.
So besides the 5 elements,
Mm-hmm.
what other tools or frameworks are used in Mian Xiang? I'm dying to know more.
Well, this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
One of the most fascinating aspects of Mian Xiang is the 100-year map. Imagine the face divided into 100 positions,
Wow.
each corresponding to a year in a person's life.
Okay.
By observing the features, lines, and markings in each position,
Mm-hmm.
we can gain insights into potential opportunities,
Okay.
challenges,
Mm-hmm.
or significant events that might occur during that year.
Wait, so you're telling me you can see someone's future just by looking at a map on their face? That sounds almost like science fiction.
Not exactly seeing the future, but more like identifying
Not for me.
potential patterns and tendencies.
Okay.
Think of it like a weather forecast.
Mm-hmm.
We can't predict with 100% certainty whether it will rain on a specific day,
Right.
but we can use meteorological data
Yeah.
to assess the likelihood.
Okay.
Similarly, the 100-year map doesn't tell us exactly what will happen,
Okay.
but it can highlight areas of potential strength
Gotcha.
or significant turning points
Yeah.
throughout a person's life.
Okay, so maybe I won't be winning the lottery based on my forehead wrinkles anytime soon. But still, the idea that our faces could reveal so much about our life journey is
Yeah,
pretty incredible.
yeah,
So how exactly does this map work? Can you give us a specific example?
absolutely. Let's take position 19,
Okay.
which is located right here on the side of the forehead.
Okay.
In Mian Xiang, this position is associated with the age of 19
Okay.
and relates to early romantic relationships,
Yeah.
self-identity,
Yeah.
and the potential for marriage.
Gotcha.
If someone has a smooth, clear complexion in this area,
Okay.
it might suggest a relatively smooth transition into adulthood
Okay.
and harmonious relationships.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But what if there's, say, a mole or a scar in that position?
Uh,
Does that mean doom and gloom for their love life?
Not necessarily. Remember, it's about interpretation, not about making absolute predictions.
Okay.
A mole or a scar in this position could simply indicate a heightened sensitivity to romantic matters during that year.
Oh, okay.
Maybe some challenges or lessons to be learned in relationships. It might even point towards a particularly significant romantic encounter
Wow.
that shapes their future path.
I see. So it's not about good or bad,
Right.
but rather about understanding the potential energy
Yeah.
and themes that might
Sure.
play out during that year.
Yeah.
But you mentioned something earlier that I'm still curious about.
Okay.
You said the 100-year map is reversed for women.
Yes.
What does that mean exactly?
Yes, that's an important point.
Okay.
In Mian Xiang, we take into account the different energetic patterns
Okay.
between men and women.
Mm-hmm.
For men, we read the 100-year map from left to right,
Okay.
starting with position 1 at the top of the right side of the forehead
Uh-huh.
and moving across to position 100 on the left side of the jawline.
Okay.
For women, we reverse the direction reading from right to left.
Okay, so it's like looking at a mirror image.
Right.
That adds another layer of complexity, but I'm starting to see how this map could provide a fascinating roadmap
Yes.
for understanding our lives.
Yeah, like a personalized guidebook
Yeah.
highlighting potential milestones and areas for growth.
Okay.
And the 100-year map is just one piece of the puzzle.
Gotcha.
Mian Xiang also uses the concept of the 12 palaces,
Okay.
which are specific zones on the face
Okay.
that correspond to different aspects of life,
Gotcha.
such as wealth, career, relationships, and health.
Wow, this is already blowing my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So are these palaces like the houses in astrology?
That's a great analogy.
Okay.
Just like the 12 houses in astrology, the
Mhm.
12 palaces in Mian Xiang each govern a specific area of life.
Okay.
They provide insights into our strengths, weaknesses, and potential challenges
Okay.
in those areas.
That makes sense.
For example, the Wealth Palace,
Okay.
which is located in the area around the nose,
Mm-hmm.
can reveal a person's financial aptitude,
Okay.
their attitude towards money,
Mm-hmm.
and their potential for wealth accumulation.
Okay. I'm definitely intrigued now. Tell me more about this wealth palace. What should I be looking for?
Well, the first thing we look at is the overall shape and size of the nose.
Okay.
A well-developed, fleshy nose, especially the tip,
Mm-hmm.
is generally considered a positive sign in Mian Xiang,
Okay.
suggesting generosity,
Uh-huh.
strong financial management skills,
Okay.
and the ability to attract wealth.
So does that mean a small nose equals financial struggles?
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Remember, it's all about balance and context.
Okay.
A small nose could simply indicate a more conservative approach to finances
Gotcha.
or a tendency to focus on quality over quantity.
This is fascinating. So it's not just about the size of the nose, but also the shape and texture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For example, a nose with wide flaring nostrils might suggest a tendency towards overspending or taking financial risks.
Okay.
A high straight nose bridge can indicate ambition and leadership qualities,
Oh, interesting.
which often translate into success in business or career.
Okay.
And we also look at the area around the nose,
Yeah.
the philtrum, the base of the nostrils, for additional clues about a person's financial prospects.
So if I want to get a sense of someone's financial stability,
Mm.
I should be checking out their nose.
Well, it's one piece of the puzzle. Remember, we're looking at the entire face, the interplay of all the features,
Yeah.
to get a comprehensive understanding.
Yeah. Okay.
But yes, the nose can provide some fascinating insights
Mm-hmm.
into a person's financial aptitude and potential.
Okay.
And that's just one of the 12 palaces.
Right.
We've got 11 more to explore.
Oh, wow.
each with its own unique set of interpretations and insights.
Amazing. I'm already noticing faces in a whole new way.
Yeah.
Before we dive into the other palaces, can you quickly recap the key takeaways about Mian Xiang so far?
Of course. We've learned that Mian Xiang is a centuries-old practice that uses facial features to understand personality potential and even life path.
Okay.
It's based on the 5 elements,
Right.
which represent different energetic qualities.
Yeah.
And it incorporates tools like the 100-year map and the 12 palaces to provide a deeper understanding of ourselves and others.
Perfectly summarized. I'm already starting to see the depth and complexity of this system.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the book goes even deeper,
Oh.
exploring the meaning of lines, moles, and even the subtle color variations on the face.
Okay, can't wait to learn more. But before we move on to part 2 of our deep dive,
Yeah.
is there anything else from the book you think our listeners should keep in mind as they start to explore this topic?
Yes, absolutely. It's important to approach Mian Xiang with an open mind
Okay.
and a sense of curiosity, but also with a healthy dose of skepticism.
Okay.
Remember, this is an art, not a science.
Right.
And there's always room for interpretation.
Okay.
Don't get too caught up in trying to memorize every detail
Right.
or making definitive judgments based on a single feature.
Great advice. It's about seeing the bigger picture.
Yes.
And understanding the interplay of all the elements.
Exactly. And the more you observe, the more you'll start to notice those subtle nuances and connections.
Yeah.
It's like learning a new language. The more you practice, the more fluent you become.
This is definitely a language I want to become fluent in. So until next time, just keep those eyes peeled and those minds open.
Yes.
You never know what secrets you might find hidden in plain sight.
Absolutely. Welcome back to our deep dive into the fascinating world of Mian Xiang.
I am so ready for more. Last time we left off talking about the 12 palaces, and you had just started to explain the Wealth Palace.
Right.
I'm really curious to hear more about what the nose can reveal about someone's financial aptitude.
Absolutely. Remember, the Wealth Palace, it isn't just about like how much money someone has in their bank account.
Okay.
It's about their overall relationship with wealth, their ability to generate it,
Okay.
manage it, and even share it with others.
Okay.
We look at the nose as an indicator of their, financial instinct, so to speak.
So a prominent nose means someone's destined to be rich.
Picturing those like old money families with their strong aristocratic noses.
Well, it's not quite that simple.
Yeah.
Well, a well-developed nose, particularly one with a fleshy tip,
Okay.
can suggest, strong financial instincts.
Yeah.
It's not a guarantee of wealth.
Right. Yeah.
It might indicate someone who's generous,
Okay.
enjoys the finer things in life, and has the potential to create abundance.
Okay.
But there are many other factors at play.
Right, like their upbringing, education, opportunities, even just plain luck.
Exactly.
It makes sense that you wouldn't judge someone's entire financial future just based on their nose.
Exactly. Mian Xiang is about understanding potential,
Okay.
not predicting outcomes with certainty.
Gotcha.
And even within the Wealth Palace,
Yeah.
there are nuances to consider.
Okay.
For instance, the book mentions that wide, flaring nostrils
Okay.
can sometimes suggest a tendency towards, overspending.
Or taking financial risks.
Ooh, interesting. I know someone with nostrils like that,
Yeah.
always jumping into the next big investment scheme. I wonder if there's any truth to that.
Well, it's certainly food for thought.
Yeah.
But remember, these interpretations are meant to be taken as guidelines,
Okay.
not hard and fast rules.
Right.
We always need to consider the entire face and the individual's unique circumstances.
Okay. That's reassuring. I wouldn't want to start making assumptions about people just based on their nose shape.
Right.
So what other insights can we gain from the 12 palaces?
Let's move on to the career palace,
Okay.
which is located on the forehead between the eyebrows.
Okay.
This palace reveals a person's career, potential, their ambition, their leadership qualities, and their overall approach to work.
So if I'm looking for a go-getter, I should be scanning for a prominent forehead.
A broad, high forehead can indeed suggest intelligence,
Okay.
a strategic mind, and the ability to think long-term.
Yeah.
All qualities that often lead to success in leadership roles.
Okay.
But again, it's not just about size.
Right.
We also look at the shape, the texture,
Okay.
the presence of lines or marks.
Like wrinkles. Does that mean a wrinkled forehead equals a stressful career?
Not at all. Wrinkles are a natural part of aging.
Okay.
And in Mian Xiang, they're often seen as a sign of experience and wisdom.
Interesting.
What we're looking for is the overall quality of the forehead.
Okay.
Is it smooth and clear, suggesting a relatively straightforward career path?
Yeah.
Or is it bumpy, discolored, or marked,
Yeah.
hinting at potential challenges or obstacles to overcome?
So it's more about the story the forehead tells, not just the physical appearance.
Yeah.
This is fascinating. Are there any other palaces you think our listener would find particularly intriguing?
The marriage palace is always a popular one.
Oh, okay.
It's located at the outer corners of the eyes
Okay.
and can reveal insights into a person's romantic relationships, their ability to form lasting bonds, and their potential for marital harmony.
Okay, I'm all ears. What kind of features should we be looking for in the marriage palace?
Ideally, we want to see smooth, clear skin in this area
Okay.
without any blemishes, discoloration, or drooping.
Okay.
This suggests a harmonious and fulfilling love life.
Okay.
But if there are lines, moles, or discoloration present, it might indicate potential challenges or areas for growth in relationships.
So if I see crow's feet around someone's eyes, does that mean their marriage is on the rocks?
Not necessarily. Crow's feet can simply be a sign of a person who smiles a lot
Okay.
or who spends a lot of time in the sun.
Right.
Remember, we're looking for patterns and overall impressions, not making judgments based on isolated features.
Right. Context is key.
Exactly.
It seems like there's a lot of room for interpretation in Mian Xiang. It's not just a set of rules, but more like a language you have to learn to speak.
That's a great way to put it. It requires observation, intuition, and an understanding of the subtle nuances of the face.
So it's not something you can just pick up overnight.
Right.
You'd need to study with a master, right?
Ideally, yes.
Okay.
Just like any art form, Mian Xiang takes years of practice to master.
Yeah.
But even just having a basic understanding of the principles can enhance your awareness and give you a new perspective on the people you encounter.
I'm already finding myself noticing details I never paid attention to before.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the wealth palace, the career palace, and the marriage palace.
Yes.
Are there any other standout palaces that you think are essential to understand in Mian Xiang?
Absolutely. The life palace,
Okay.
which is located in the area between the eyebrows and above the nose,
Okay.
is a crucial one.
Okay.
It represents a person's overall vitality,
Okay.
their health potential,
Okay.
and their resilience in the face of challenges.
So someone with a strong life palace would bounce back quickly from setbacks.
Exactly. A strong life palace is indicated by smooth, clear skin in this area,
Okay.
a well-defined philtrum,
Uh-huh.
and a vibrant complexion.
Okay.
It suggests a strong constitution, both physically and emotionally.
Okay, so that's the life palace. What about, say, creativity or artistic talent? Is there a palace for that?
Yes, there is. The Creativity Palace, also known as the Children Palace,
Okay.
is located on the lower eyelids and the area just below the eyes.
Okay.
It reflects a person's creativity,
Okay.
their ability to express themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and their connection to their inner child.
So someone with puffy or dark circles under their eyes is lacking in creativity.
Not necessarily.
Right.
While a smooth, clear complexion in this area
Okay.
can suggest a vibrant, creative energy,
Yeah.
dark circles or puffiness could simply indicate fatigue or stress.
Right.
Remember, we're looking for overall patterns, not making judgments based on isolated features.
Right, right. So how do we put all this information together? It seems like a lot to keep track of.
That's where the skill of the face reader comes in.
Okay.
It's not just about memorizing a list of features and their corresponding meanings.
Right.
It's about understanding the interplay of different elements, the subtle nuances,
Okay.
and the overall energy of the face.
So it's more of an art than a science.
You could say that.
Okay.
It requires intuition, experience,
Okay.
and a deep understanding of human nature.
Okay, I'm starting to realize that this is a lifetime's worth of study.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely more aware of the stories our faces tell.
Exactly.
Right.
And the book emphasizes that our faces are not static.
Okay.
They change over time, reflecting our experiences,
Right.
our emotions, and even our choices.
So we have the power to shape our own destinies, to literally change the course of our lives.
Precisely.
Wow.
Our faces are not our fate, but rather a reflection of our journey.
This is incredibly insightful. I'm already looking at faces differently, noticing details I never paid attention to before.
That's the beauty of Mian Xiang.
Yeah.
It opens our eyes to a whole new level of understanding.
Before we move on to the next section of the book.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure our listener is keeping up.
Okay.
Can you quickly recap the key points we've covered so far about the 12 palaces?
Of course. We've explored how the 12 palaces, located in specific zones of the face, can provide insights into different aspects of a person's life, including their wealth, career, relationships, health, and creativity.
Right.
We've learned that each palace is associated with certain features, and that the overall quality of these features, rather than just their size or shape, is what's important.
Right.
And most importantly, we've emphasized that these interpretations are not meant to be taken as absolute predictions, but rather as guidelines for understanding potential and tendencies.
That's a great summary. I'm really starting to grasp the concept of the 12 palaces.
Sure. And how they can be used to gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and others.
Good.
I'm glad to hear that. Now, if you're ready, I think it's time to delve into one of the most fascinating, perhaps controversial aspects of Mian Xiang, the 100-year map.
Oh, yes.
We touched on this briefly earlier.
Right.
But I'm eager to hear more about how this map works.
Yeah.
And what kind of insights it can reveal. Bring on the 100-year map. Welcome back to our deep dive into Mian Xiang. I'm so excited to finally get into this 100-year map.
Yeah.
It's such an intriguing concept, like having a roadmap etched right onto your face.
It really is.
Yeah.
As we touched on earlier, the 100-year map divides the face into 100 positions, each corresponding to a year in a person's life. By analyzing the features, the lines, and markings in each position, we can gain insights into potential opportunities, challenges, or significant events that might occur during that year.
So it's not about predicting specific events.
Right. But more like identifying potential themes or energy patterns for each year.
Exactly. It's like looking at a weather map. We can't say for certain that it will rain on a specific day, but we can see areas of high or low pressure, which give us an indication of the likelihood of rain. Similarly, the 100-year map doesn't tell us exactly what will happen, but it can reveal areas of potential strength, weakness, or significant turning points throughout a person's life.
I'm starting to get the idea, but can you give us some concrete examples?
Sure.
What might a specific marking in a particular position tell us?
Absolutely. Let's take position 25, for instance, which is located right in the middle of the forehead. This position is often associated with a person's career and their sense of purpose in the world. So if someone has a smooth, clear complexion in that area at age 25, it might suggest that they're on the right path, feeling fulfilled in their work and making steady progress towards their goals.
So if there was like a mole or a scar or a discoloration in that position, that might suggest some challenges or obstacles in their career around that age.
It could, yeah.
Interesting. So it's not about good or bad, but rather about understanding the potential energy and themes that might play out during that year.
Exactly.
What other positions on the map stand out to you as particularly significant?
Well, position 44, which is right at the tip of the nose, is often associated with a person's midlife transition. It can reveal insights into their overall health and vitality and how well they're adapting to the changes that come with aging.
So if someone has a bright, rosy complexion at the tip of their nose at age 44, does that mean they're sailing through midlife?
It could certainly be a positive sign. It might suggest that they're in good health, feeling energized, and embracing the next chapter of their lives. But if there's a dullness, a discoloration, or a drooping in that area, it might indicate some health concerns or challenges that they need to address.
This is fascinating. It's like every line and feature on our face tells a story.
It really does.
I'm starting to see faces in a whole new light. But I have to ask, is the 100-year map just about looking at specific positions? Or is there more to it?
There's definitely more to it. We also look at the overall flow of energy across the entire map. Are there any lines or wrinkles that cut across multiple positions, suggesting a period of stress or difficulty? Are there any areas that are particularly vibrant or radiant, indicating a time of growth and expansion? It's about understanding the whole picture, not just isolated details.
I can see how this can get pretty complex. It seems like it would take a lot of practice and intuition to interpret the 100-year map accurately.
Absolutely. It's an art form that requires careful observation an understanding of the underlying principles of Mian Xiang,
Yeah.
and a willingness to see beyond the surface.
You mentioned earlier that the book includes some real-life anecdotes about how Mian Xiang is used in practice.
Right?
Did any of those stories particularly stand out to you?
Yes, definitely. There's one story about a young woman who was considering a career change.
Okay.
She was feeling lost and unfulfilled in her current job,
Yeah.
but she wasn't sure what direction to take. She went to see a Mian Xiang practitioner for guidance,
Okay.
hoping to gain some clarity about her path.
That's so relatable.
Yeah.
I think we've all been there at some point,
Right.
feeling stuck and unsure of our next steps.
Absolutely.
What did the practitioner see in her face?
Well, the practitioner noticed that she had a very prominent, well-defined jawline,
Okay.
which in Mian Xiang's associated with the earth element.
Ah, yes. We talked about earth types earlier. They're known for their practicality, groundedness, and reliability.
Exactly. And they often thrive in careers that allow them to work with their hands, create tangible results,
Okay.
and bring structure and order to the world.
So did the practitioner suggest she become a builder or a farmer?
Not quite.
Okay.
But they did recommend that she explore careers that aligned with those earth qualities.
Okay.
They suggested she consider fields like landscape architecture,
Okay.
interior design, or even pottery.
Interesting. Did she take their advice?
She did.
Okay.
And according to the book, she ended up finding a fulfilling career as a landscape architect.
Wow.
She was able to combine her love of nature
Yeah.
with her practical skills and her desire to create beautiful and functional spaces.
That's amazing. It's like the face reading helped her uncover her true calling.
Exactly. It shows how Mian Xiang can be a powerful tool for self-discovery
Yeah.
and for making life choices that align with our natural strengths and inclinations.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive. I feel like I've learned so much.
Yes.
But I also know I've just scratched the surface of this vast and intricate system.
Me too. Mian Xiang is a lifetime's worth of study.
Right.
But even just having a basic understanding of the principles can enhance our awareness and give us a new perspective on ourselves and the people we encounter.
Before we wrap up,
Yeah.
is there any final takeaway you'd like to leave our listener with?
I think one of the most important lessons from Mian Xiang is that our faces are not fixed.
Okay.
They change over time, reflecting our experiences,
Yeah.
our choices, and even our thoughts.
Wow.
So we have the power to shape our own destinies,
Okay.
to literally change the course of our lives by cultivating positive qualities
Yeah.
and making wise decisions.
That's such a powerful message.
Yeah.
So it's not just about reading our faces,
Right.
but also about writing our own stories.
Beautifully put.
Yeah.
Our faces are like living canvases, constantly evolving and reflecting the unique journeys that we're on.
This has been an absolutely fascinating exploration of Mian Xiang.
It has been.
I want to thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today
It's been my pleasure.
and for helping us decode these secrets hidden in plain sight.
I encourage our listener to continue exploring this fascinating topic.
Yeah.
You never know what insights you might uncover about yourself and the world around you.
I couldn't agree more. So until next time, keep those eyes open, those minds curious.
Absolutely.
And remember, the most interesting stories are often written on the faces we encounter every day.